All right, we're starting with this table. So this table, after I pause this and go to the song that was linked to me. Oh my god. So for anyone wondering, this is a Persona, Persona 5. Enjoy. This is our critiquing music for the night. Da-da-da-da-da. The setup is shit since I uploaded it 5 seconds. Oh no, it's fine. Oh man, this song. This is this is epic. Okay, so this is from Blue. I haven't worked much on this since last update. Would like to know if there's anything looks weird. So, oh, I can't zoom with my Wacom, or really? Okay, so I mean these pieces here could be alpha'd, but I mean it doesn't. This is fine. Just it's fine. I really like the design of this being angled. I like these handles. These are pretty cool. These knobs. Such rhythm. This detail here feels a little. It feels like there should be something else there, maybe similar to an inset like this, since these type of details are more seen through. Like this is actually like this stuff. I would expect to either see through it or have it be details like this. Like maybe this should just be an inset panel. Sublime. I'll add your rock to the thing, but that'll be the last one we're gonna be critiquing. Just as a heads up. All right. So design-wise, I really like this. Be careful on the edges being so round. And yeah. I think I like it. Now this is cool. I look forward to seeing some textured action. Let's open these guys up. So this is from oh, I should say one thing that I would like to see. So you have this type of language going on, this rounding. If you can get that in some other areas, like maybe there's rounding on this corner, and see how there's rounding there. I expect maybe rounding to be here, especially with it being here. It's like the whole footprint should have that rounding effect. The fact that this is sticking out like this is like, it's like the design is clashing with another design. What site was what? What do you mean? Never mind, found it. Yeah. So I think that's probably the biggest thing that's sticking out to me, other than this side panel detail. All right, on to the next. So this be a rock from the Sublime. Hey guys, any feedback on this? So I don't know if this was. I tried to rotate it just now. Did you see that? Sketchfab. Good stuff. I just tried to rotate this rock. So if this is sculpted, it looks pretty good. I mean, it's got the angled striations that you expect in rock formations, natural rock formations. We're gonna open up Zoom It. Zoom It is the zooming tool that I was using. I'm like, wait, is it gonna try and install it? What's happening here? Did that just work? Oh shit, it did. Awesome. It's all hand sculpted, yes. Okay, so some things that I really like are, so starting with the big details, you've got like a dip in here, a dip in here. There's this shape here. This one. Yeah, there's these larger shapes, right? But then you have, I guess there's this shape as well. But then everything is kind of all supporting this pattern. And that's essentially what you need for a successful looking rock. If you get that detail, it sells the details much easier. See, this side's cool too. So while you have these like large, like the way that this is shaped is good. And then the fact that this side has like a overhang. Oh man, I'm liking this tool. This is good. The tool I'm using to draw on the screen is called Zoom It. It's a Windows tool, believe it. So I press Control 1. I get a zoom in, and I can look around, and if I scroll in and out, I can zoom in. And then if I click, I get a pen, which I can doodle with, right? Oh, what's happening here? Oh. Control Z works, which is pretty cool. Whoa. It's like, sorry, you can't do that anymore. You can't undo anymore. Control 1 zooms in, scrolling, zoom in and out. Control 2, or clicking, will let you draw. If you press R, you get red. If you press G, you get green, and B for blue. Pretty easy. Persona music's pretty damn good. I'm liking this. So shape-wise, really liking this. This is cool. I like how you have this shape here. And the way that this side versus the other side is shaped allows for a lot of versatility when it comes to rotating the rock to get unique shapes. What's up, John? How you doing, man? Hope things are good. Hope things are good. Really nice rock. It's good. You might even be able to make it a little bit higher poly. Because right now, if I do this and press R for red, I'm seeing like corners, like hard angles or edges here. If you double the detail, you'll be able to use the rock in a lot more locations and keep that resolution nice and tidy. As far as geometry shape goes. Super cool. All right, this is looking pretty crazy. This is from Judd. A bit of a disclaimer, worked on the lighting for about 5 minutes. Nice. Hey, first initial lighting can be really important. 1,350 tries. How big is it, Sublime? If it's really big, yeah, if it's really big, then you could totally double that. If it's the size of your character, I would say maybe go for like 15, maybe a couple extra 100 polys to help like sell the shapes. Thank you for the follow. Can I zoom in a bit? Of course. How's that? Whoa, hello. This is cool. I really like this. So these statues are really cool. I don't know what this is made out of, this material. Right now it looks really rigid. It looks like a really intense slide that I would not suggest kids go on. There are characters in the scene? Are you talking about these guys? So I guess if I had to say one thing, so all right, we'll just like let's point out all the things that are really cool. Honky, what's up, man? No, you're not late. Well, okay, maybe 2 hours late, but whatever. You come when you come here when you want. So scale-wise, I just noticed this guy here. He is tiny. He's got his little feet there. This is my little potato man. Hey, I'm just chilling here. He's like, So this looks pretty cool. I don't know the concept you're going off of. It looks like the eagle from the Muppets, dude. It kind of does. I like it. So these look a little rigid. These are really cool. I would suggest maybe giving them a slight curve in one direction, just so they're doing something like that, just so they have a little bit of action to them instead of being very, very straight. Because if they look really, really straight, they tend to look like geometry. Or like they cue in as looking like 3D. Think about what to do with your ground. Let's use blue for hypothesis. So the ground, you could use either like a area walking up to it. Maybe there's stuff that's supposed to be here that's kind of lining a path. There's a number of things you can do in the ground. What I do like about what the ground is doing right now is it's an area of rest because there's so much detail in the scene. The moss that's hanging down up here, or like the ivy looking stuff, right now I think it's mipping, and the mipping is causing the texture to look white on the outsides of the edges of the leaves. That could just be me as well looking at it and thinking that that's what's happening. This is an epic pen. No, it is not. All the rage. So I would make sure that you've got enough like color padding around your leaves where your alpha cutout occurs in your texture. What is mipping? Mipping is basically like the down-resing. What's a good way to describe mipping? It's mediocre pen. I like it. I like it. 2 seconds. Later, Kyle. I'm trying to texture. So mipping is basically as you get further away from a texture, it scales down. So a texture, let's say it's a 512, when it mips, it's like LODs for textures. So as you get further away from a texture, you'll notice it starts to downres. And that's going from, say, it starts as a 512, and then it goes down to a 256, and then a 128, right? So that's downresing. As that happens, the pixels have to get averaged in order to maintain the detail that's assumed is there. Because of that sampling and the colors getting averaged, your alpha gets averaged as well. So where your alpha actually cuts out or cuts will shift left or right. The song's getting intense. And it usually will expose the texture outside of the leaf as you get further away. So if the background of your leaf texture is white, you will notice a white haloing around your leaves as you get further from them. Make sure that you have padding, which is like that extra color of the leaf outward, to basically compensate for the mipping of your alpha. Hopefully that explains it. It's a little intense to describe. So the only other thing I would suggest right now is solving the lumpiness of your rocks. Like right now they're doing a lot of this type of shapes, so it's more like rock clouds, like we were seeing in another I'm gonna move the mic here, as we were seeing in another image earlier. Giving direction to your rocks will help you be able to make them look more convincing. And if all of this is being carved out of the same stuff, I would suggest either getting a tileable normal, probably for time's sake, a tileable normal to give you direction, and then trying to go away from the more blobby shapes for the rocks and trying to follow the direction of the striations in the rock material itself. Looking at reference of rocks while you build on them is like super essential to trying to get that look across. So you can see like this directional stuff is, and then the shapes that are supporting it. That's how you do a rock. All right. Hopefully that was enough information for you. So let's look at this guy. So first things first, I really like that there's shadows behind the text. That's super cool. This stuff here, that's awesome. It lets me know that there's glass or plastic in front of the display. I like that there's some like dirtiness, like stuff going on the plastic or glass itself. Where it starts to get a little strange is there's no like cracks or damage to the glass or plastic based on like the state that you're portraying in this. If I had to say anything about the metal material, is like make sure that like where it's getting worn, like down here. Let's do that. So down here or here or like up here, this stuff's really strange. This actually looks like a really large fingerprint stamped onto it. So make sure that all of the wear and damage that's happening, that's changing the roughness of the metal material, makes a lot of sense. And then color-wise, I guess maybe because the scene isn't very, like this color feels really strange to me. And it might be because of the scene being reflected is muted. Yeah, saying that the home is peace and then the peace is crossed out and then peace is a lie. It's like a call out to like the pie is a lie. I like the drips that are coming down from the spray paint. This is good stuff. Yeah, I feel like there needs to be some stuff broken, and then I need to see how, like, we'll go with the blue for this. I need to see how things are connected, like bolts or any of that stuff will really help in selling. Oh man, this isn't showing at all. Like bolts or how things are connected together, or little brackets and stuff that are like connecting everything. Even up like, so this goes up like this, right? And then it meets the underside of this guy. If there was two bolts, maybe up here or something, you'll get a nice silhouette change from just having that straight edge, as well as like some added detail and explanation as to how things are put together and whatnot. Down at the bottom too, if you add like a little panel here with like maybe like a warning sticker on it, maybe the panel is slightly open, kind of hanging. Yeah, anything to describe how things are put together and then add a little bit more life. Basically what the graffiti is doing. And then double check on like why this is so light. If this is light, maybe it needs to be dirtier, or like not dirtier in the sense of like more roughness, but the albedo, like checking out the albedo, making sure that that color suits it well. Like, is it dirty or is it rusty, or what type of, like right now this looks really chalky. And I'm not sure what that's supposed to be other than it's changing the roughness on the metal. The metal actually looks really good right here. Like there's nice play happening in there. And then you have the nice little tag on there as well. But yeah, onward. It's dirt. All right. Check out like your albedo color on it. Maybe it needs to be more dirt-like. You need to adjust the opacity on the dirt. Wait, is that dirt being applied like a decal? Because you could probably apply that dirt in the albedo and the roughness if it's 0 to 1. Painter? Okay. It's really pale for dirt. Maybe dust. And if it's dust, then it'll accumulate a little softer. See if you can find some reference on stuff that's been aging for a while. Like old train stations and stuff, or bus stops. Or terminal stops. Terminals. Something like that. Like, huh. Train stations, terminals. Oh man, I remember this scene. Oh yeah, this is looking good. With the rug addition in there, that's really nice. The wood material looks really good now. Oh man, getting ahead of ourselves there. Okay, so shall we zoom in? So right now I'm seeing maybe some lighting errors here. Don't be afraid to make your light maps larger for later on when you're baking all your stuff out. And then careful with laser lines that are here and here. Maybe that needs to be beveled wider. This detail is really nice, but it's so tight that it ends up becoming like a alias. Like you can see it here. It's like an alias stepping. This chair is super cool, but the way that it's designed makes me feel like there's supposed to be wheels under here. Table looks good, maybe a little bit too reflective. Like the sheen on it is maybe a little too intense. It's feeling like it's whoa, boop. Sorry, I'm sorry. This sheen feels pretty good. I guess they're probably the same, but because this is curving, it has more room to play. You don't know why it's acting like that. The light maps. A desk chair. Desk chairs without wheels is invented by Satan. Damn you, Satan. The frames on the walls look pretty good. The little beam in the corner there, I guess if you have reference, then it makes sense. It feels really strange right now. And then these guys feel low poly just because the edge is not rounded. That bevel can happen in the geometry, and then you can just force the normals to curve instead of having to bake normals for something, because that's more of a simple case to solve. Let's see here. I like that you're starting to add props, and I like the carpet in here as well. Oh, I am tired. The scale is definitely off. JM79, nice catch. The best way to check this type of stuff is see if the chair will push in. Or see, like, push a character into the chair until it's kind of at his sitting height, and then see where he lines up to the front of the table. We should totally get a character model that's sitting with his arms out so that you can make sense out of like scale and stuff. But yeah, it's a combination of the chair being a little big and the table being quite small. Cool. This shot's pretty cool. Fireplace looks pretty nice. I would definitely add some like what are those wire things that are supposed to, that's my wire. There it is, guys. That hold the wood in for a fireplace. And then maybe like a dark spot where there was burning. The fireplace being there, I guess taking this portion of the wall, it's like the perfect opportunity to take this part of the wall and maybe bring it forward a little bit. This sneaky music, though. Dude, I don't know about this, man. Do you think we can get out of here live? Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. This is looking cool. I like that. Nice detail addition. Again, I'm seeing like a strange... the roughness on this feels weird, and the edges, of course, just need to have some nice curve to them. I'm like wondering when the music's gonna end. No, we're still good. Dang, this is getting intense. the master of lockpicking. Dude, this song, I feel like I've just snuck into a location where the bad guy has his boat. And I need to find some evidence to basically prove that he's stealing puppies. Children puppies. Anyways, this looks pretty cool. I like the this material here. It feels a bit strange as to like what's happening here with the creases in the normal. This is so Metal Gear Solid. There's a story happening here, and I'm not sure what it is. I feel like there's supposed to be like a side table here, maybe. Yeah. How's that? Boom. Tobias, you like that? Dude, I'm thinking like, you know, like some Ace Ventura, like he's trying to find evidence. Oh yeah, and the pictures are on Discord, guys, for show. For show. Thanks, Steven. Yeah, I think in general though the positioning of your props is pretty nice. This detail here and the spacing of here, make sure that the spacing lines up. Maybe you need to move the fireplace to the right a little bit. That way the wall paneling lines up a little nicer. Let's see what else we got here. I think that should be enough for now on this. All right, we got Karen's action with all the moves. Dang, Karen, look, this guy's giving you the finger. He's like, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. All right, Karen. Oh, does that totally clip the... that's annoying. That's annoying. Does that clip the image? It does. Okay, well, we can pause it. Oh, geez. Hit spacebar. Bad idea. Most viral images. This is great, guys. This is... Thanks, Karen, for this link. This looks pretty solid. Compositionally, it looks nice. The detail is really good. The implied detail in the back that's just being pushed back is really good. This is cool. This like looks like maybe it was a statue head or something. It's telling me that there's something. The foliage looks nice. There's little like little pieces here. There's stuff going on over here. I'm like, oh, what is that? And there's maybe some stuff floating on the water. I'm not sure. Reflections look nice. I like how the tentacles are in the back, but they're not really popping out at you. They're part of the composition. Like they're behaving correctly, you know, with the distance. I guess if I had to say one thing, let me play this again. I'm just gonna let it loop. Foliage looks good. Looks real good. What is this in? Is this in Unreal? Delicious. I feel like maybe trying out the little, I think those are cattails, these little guys here. Maybe scaling them up a little bit. They seem really small. Just see what it looks like. Maybe it'll be too distracting. Maybe you've tried that already. Ground looks good. It's not too busy. Water looks really nice. You're getting some nice like ripple effects across the top. There's some cool statues in the background. This is surprisingly not as bright as I'm expecting it. Like it feels washed a bit. I don't know if that's good or bad. I think if it was brighter, it would take away from the rest of the scene too much. I'll be honest that I feel like you should put a... yeah, they're huge in real life. And I mean, maybe all this stuff's pretty When I say huge, they're like this, like fat hot dogs. That water ripple though. I would put some noise in the tentacles that you pan to just get them to move very slightly, like just so they're not still. They feel like they're not moving right now, and I don't think they actually are. You think the stuff up close should be darker? Interesting. So in this shot, maybe this could be a little bit darker, but I don't know. I think everything's okay in that department. I think the tentacles moving is really going to help, though. I think it'll really help. It can be very subtle, too. Maybe on the bottom right section. Do it in post, Karen. Do it in post. Shh, don't tell anyone. Shh, post. Some vignetting. Some under, like, bottom screen vignetting. Cool. Yeah, this looks nice. The amount of vine work over here is really good, too. Compositionally, it's super strong. I like how this is higher than... So these basically are meeting at the same point, but this is like the focus on this side, and then this is the focus on this side. You notice the highlight here is the same as the highlight here as far as values go. It looks like there's someone there. Is that for real? Is there someone standing there? I swear there's someone standing there. I think if those if you got some particle in front that showed this type of where are we at here? So see these little wispy things? If you got a little bit of those further forward that are wider to just show like that it's coming out or it's three-dimensional, that it's really going to help. And then again, the tentacles wiggling around. Super solid. Super, super solid. Where are we at now? Scrolling up. Do you like loops? I like loops. Kaz. So this one's by Knock. Last update of my work, I'm trying to get trying another color pass. Still not sure about the render. So let's zoom in on this guy. So I think what's making this feel very strange is your roughness feels very... yeah, it's got a Minds of Moria feel to it for sure. I get that. I think your ambient occlusion may be a little strong, or like the darkening that's happening between all of the material. It's weird that the chipping is happening this intense, but not on the corners as much. And then this one's really strange that the grout is in between the stone. Versus like this one makes sense because it looks like it's in the grout. This one looks like it fractured, but then the grout got between it. Check for a good old auto levels. Yeah, the roughness is pretty uniform currently. That, and try not to separate the, I guess maybe you have some reference on this. Try not to separate the grout from the brick too much in saturation. So like you can have, the stones or bricks can be red like this, right? But just make sure that they're not as saturated. Your roughness is uniform. Before coloring anything, make sure your roughness looks exactly like what you would expect it to look like. And then you can put color on top of it. It becomes much easier to make your albedo after you have roughness correct. in general, though, it looks. I mean, it looks like you're doing pretty nice on substance designer. I really like how these cracks that are here and this crack, like the cracks aren't following through to the next one, so you're breaking those up really nicely. This one might be a little extreme. This one right here. That one might be a little intense. Yeah. The saturation difference between the grout and the brick. Double check that stuff. It's looking cool though. Looking real good. Okay. Next we got AK-47. And yes, I totally agree in Leroy Cake. Nice to see you post something super cool. If there was a way to turn off the DOF, then I would say it's okay to have it. It is too narrow though. Definitely too narrow. AK looks pretty good. I mean, I'm no gun guy. Man, that is some resolution. What is the res of this? That's crazy. We're going for first person. Delicious. Dude, this music. So on the back here, definitely low poly. Like, doot, 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 doot. You can totally just like, instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, you could have like 16 up there. Just round those out. I don't know, instead of 4, I don't know, maybe 8 to 12. I'm gonna get really hardcore on you. What's going on here? That looks intense. Yeah, so it just looks like this piece hasn't been unwrapped, or it was on auto unwrap. That's interesting because it's not really happening over here. Other than that, I think you could really use some. So this damage that's going on in here is really intense. Probably smooth that out and give it some directional scraping from the piece pulling back and forth. So making this maybe more like a brass with some directional scraping to it will help. I like the text on there. Just some difference in materials. Totally round this out. You're allowed to just add as much geometry as you need in order to sell a shape. And then just make sure that you get more material separation. Like this stuff here is awesome. The noise that's on top of it, I would probably remove and just leave that, put that into the roughness. Most of your detail will go into your roughness. These little highlights that I'm seeing are pretty cool. But see what your depth of field is doing is, instead of like looking at, oh, that's interesting. So I guess looking at the gun from this distance is the most preferable currently. Because once I start zooming in, it tightens up quite a bit. I think it's okay to have just half the strength of like how intense it is. This back part too, like these are cut-ins, I believe. You can afford, to model those in. That's totally fine. But yeah, cool. Just get some material and roughness variation in your parts, and then add geometry to areas to maintain adding enough detail. All right, this one is this is from Uranium. So let's see here. Let me read some stuff if there's anything. No fixed graffiti that look like stickers for most of the part. Okay, cool. So graffiti-wise, I would say maybe lowering the opacity on it just like a super small amount, just to reaffirm that or confirm to the viewer that it is sprayed on that surface. And then maybe lowering them a bit, just because I don't know how high that is. The door seems really, really wide, and then the lights seem very narrow. I expect these probably to be longer, and then the doorway to be narrower. That panel seems like, I'm not sure, dude, this song. I'm not sure how tall someone is. It's really confusing. Like, I'm getting a little bit of scale here from these props. The little details that you have are really nice. I don't think there would be this many lights in this area. It's pretty intense. There'd definitely be a light here and a light here. This one would probably go way over here in perspective. And then this one wouldn't be here. Maybe this one would be over here. Cameras look good. Maybe a decal that shows some cracks in the ceiling coming off of where this beam is sitting. I think taking this this graffiti here and putting it here and then moving this one here, leaving the red one where it's at, but just like trying to get some spread across this wall. And then make sure that there's, dude, the song. Make sure that there's some stuff going on in the ceiling where it's meeting the wall. And then maybe some extra little dirt on the bottom here. Stuff like that. The barrels look pretty good. That green might be a little too saturated, but in general, the rust looks pretty nice. And the way the roughness is reading on them, at least from down here, looks really good. I really like this this gate thing, this garage shutter. And then this is another, I don't know if this is another scene or if this is on the other side of this door. This is feeling pretty cool. I don't, right now, I'm going to zoom in on this. Right now, oh geez. Right now, this lighting on the side here feels like light bleed coming from the outside. I understand why that door is so big now. So maybe if you were to be able to add some like God ray or like light shaft rays in here, it would help sell the connection between what's happening here. I like the little addition of the light, and I think yeah, this feels, lighting wise, this is feeling really nice. And I like the addition of the pipe here. This actually looks really good. I think maybe somewhere in the shadow, right around here. Volumetric light now. Joy of, yes, joy. This is pretty cool. Looks good. I would, so I know you want to keep that dark. I think keeping these lights all on and maybe having them at slight different powers will look a lot more realistic. I would love to see this one and the camera slowly going towards the door, maybe only going like a meter in distance or less, but just seeing like the power of this light, like dimming a little bit and then maybe getting a little over bright and then kind of dimming. And then, yeah, the warmth of this tells me that there's fire on the other side or some heat chamber, but it's just the outside, so I would probably try and color match that to the colors that are outside. Flickering lights, ah. It doesn't have to be intense flicker either. It could just be like, you know, when it drops a bit in brightness and then comes back up. Yeah, wait for 4.16 to fully release, and then we'll be good. It leads to the inside. See, so I'm not understanding. Maybe we need signage or something that's telling you which way you're going. Like, what is that space? Maybe the sign says, oh, this is to the reactor, blah, 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 and then an arrow with, like, this is the exit. Because connection-wise to these two things, there's actually no way for me to know that these two are connected. Usually when you have a door like this, it's going to be inside, and then there may be some cylindrical supports around it to imply the connection between this round space and this door frame. The other thing, too, is because the door frame is so close to the wall, it's hard for me to see. Like, maybe if you did a decal of concrete that was like speckled onto the wall to try and clean up the seam of the round room, that would probably do it. Or like signage that said something about a tunnel, that would be really good as well. All right, onward. Okay, so we got Raz trying to block out some ideas for a new project. What I had in my mind was like a snowy forest path that would lead to what looks like an abandoned place. Won't model the place. I want to have a bunch of birds, wooden houses around the gate with cameras in them. Birds, wooden houses around the gate with cameras in them, like in the accountant. Nice. But yeah, I'm still thinking of what I should do. Change the ideas completely. I think in this prototype stage, you think there's a bigger disconnect between the big loading door and the tunnel? Yeah, I don't see the... Like, obviously this door is not this door. But the connection between this door and this one is difficult to... Like, that this turn... Like, going to this door, you get this view. It's hard to know that that's going to happen currently. Signage, man. Signage is everything. As far as blocking this stuff out, for rapid blockouts, I wouldn't even model these things together, right? Like, it looks like you've got the water as its own piece of mesh. I would just place these objects around and not even worry about the ground too much while you're trying to figure out how to place all this stuff. I'm curious how big you want to make this, though. I think right now the shape that I'm liking is number 4, because I like the idea that there's water, there's a little sign here. I'm not sure what this is on the side. But seeing a path, these must be like tire marks. I'm not sure. Yeah, I like the water, though, just because there's contrast. I feel like you're condensing everything into a really small space. Don't limit yourself in that sense if you can help it. In general, though, it's looking cool. Is that the end? That was the end. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. We're gonna get some... There's a weird change up going on now. We've got 7 minutes. I gotta go through 6 more. Alright, so yeah, I feel like if you take this one, make it a little bit longer in distance and then just a slight bit wider, you'll have a good layout. Quick fire round. Ta-da! Oh, this is okay. This is much more developed. So I'm liking I'm liking this one mainly because the fence. You guys see the fence is kind of angled. That's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. Maybe where the let's see here. Maybe where the fence is. Maybe that stream can go through here under the fence, and then this fence is like a gate that's open, and then there's wood planks, so it's kind of like a little mini bridge, like a really small one, just narrow. Anyways, some random stuff. In general, though, I think I like the bottom one mainly because of that fence variation. Whoa, super zoom. So this looks pretty cool. The biggest downside, I would say, is the shapes are not being exaggerated enough to... let's do this. So this, like these edges here, do you see when it gets small, like all of that's lost? If you go down and then you bring this piece out even further, then you'll be able to see that edge from really far away. Oh, what are you doing, pen? Come on. That will go a long way as far as exaggerating shapes goes. The other thing is maybe getting an edge here that comes up. The way that this connects to the panel is a little weird as well. Just because it's just that piece and that's it. Maybe if there was a little bit more of like hang on, I'm going epic pen. I can't even. So if like this edge here extended outwards a little bit and then went like that, and then you had like a weld pattern along the edge there, and then that was all the same color as this, then bolted onto this panel, that will sell the details a bit more. The other thing I would say is this piece right now also feels very low poly, and I think you can push that shape a bit further when it comes to. Oh, interesting. This is weird. You can push that shape more in order to sell like what's happening there. I like the camera detail. The lens might be a little dirty for what it's doing, especially see how far away. When you get far away, it's just not there. Totally take this logo and make it like this big, because like you want people to be able to see what the brand is from a distance, or like even up here it's like tagged onto the thing like a decal and sprayed through like a pattern, just like secured by tech CCTV. I like the logo though, it's really cool. Onward. Whoa, what's going on? Sure, come here. Come here. Come here. Come on. Oh man, I hope you don't pee. Whoa. Okay, let's see if I can do this with him on my lap. You okay? You gonna be okay? Just sit there. You good? All right, puppy. Okay, so don't chew on my wires, please. Okay, so as far as I gotta cover this ear, or else I'm hearing myself and it's super weird. With the fog and the DOF here, this actually is looking a lot better, and the details are much easier to read. The cars having different colors is a really good idea, and then maybe putting like numbers on these would be really nice. Dude, this one looks like a monster now. Yeah, it's looking cool. You doing okay? Let's see here. Oh, he's getting curious. Such a happy place. Just make sure he's comfy. In general, this looks pretty awesome though. Detail-wise is really good. Let's see if we can... The stuff that's happening in the background... Make sure he's not making noises. The stuff that's in the background could maybe be like the doffing that's happening here. Tons of people used to live here, guys. This blurring that's occurring. You okay? He's not comfortable in here, I don't think. The blurring that's happening here, I think an object needs to be there in order to not cause... it's like distracting, you know what I mean? Man. He's like, oh god. Oh jeez. Stream's almost done. It's okay, Maru. In general, though, I mean, this scene looks really good. I think adding numbers to the vehicles will be a huge addition. What else we got going on here? Whoa, what is this one? Gonna be okay? He's sniffing around. It's the first time he's been in here other than to see the stream earlier. This one's by a light bulb. Almost done with this side. So what I would suggest doing is figuring out how to... the props for the light sources seem really short, and double checking all of your scale on things. And then where the shelving is, like this stuff here, making sure that those connect or look like they connect. That will help immensely. I think just keep going and keep an eye on like hard edge stuff like this. And I think you'll be all right. But yeah. Cool. That's the last one. All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here. Maru is shaking. You okay, Maru? You okay? All right. I will check you guys later. Cheers. And thanks for hanging out. Let me know in Discord how the format was for today. And if there's anything that was lacking or anything that you liked, let me know. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I'm messing around with stuff. Oh, bye, guys. Goodbye.